Well, definitely from childhood, I've always enjoyed not only consuming it, but I always loved like I was one of those children that I have the hairbrush in my hand, just be singing,
Okay, as a mic, yeah?
yeah, just pretending that I'm on stage. I've always enjoyed it. But in school I used to be part of a lot of creative clubs. So I used to do a lot of singing, I used to do a lot of dancing, a lot of acting, anything creative. I've always been drawn to it. And it kind of helped get me out of my shell, because before I was in those clubs, I just used to focus on, just school, being academic. And I noticed that my personality was very like reserved. I was very quiet. And my parents, they don't really like quietness. I was just thinking, what's wrong? Like, why are you so awkward? Every parents' evening, they'd be like, oh, she's so quiet. She doesn't talk in class, and making friends was very difficult for me growing up. But then when they decided to put me in extracurriculum clubs like dance, music, things like that, sports even, that's when I started to come out of my shell a bit more. And whenever there were talent shows, I'd always be like, oh, I want to sing, I want to sing. So I've always enjoyed making music, but I like writing poetry. So with me, I had a problem with communicating how I feel most of the time. So instead of telling people, like, if I get upset, instead of saying, oh, I feel upset, or I used to be very non-confrontational with people. So instead I would just write it in a form of a poem, and that would be my form of expression. So I started becoming more of a poet. I used to make my YouTube channel and put up poems. And then I realized, you know what? I also why did I abandon singing? Why didn't I abandon music? So let me get back into it. Let me turn these poems into art, into music and things like that. And I've always been influenced by hip hop, R&B. I know now I do more of rapping, but I still have that singing side in me, and I do want to tap into that again. But I've always enjoyed it. And I think the problem with me is if I take a long break away from music, it's like, because there was a time where my parents like, just focus on academics now, like, that was fun, like just focus on school. So I did that for many years. And then for some reason I felt myself pull back into it. It started when the father of my kids, he put on a beat randomly. He didn't even know whether I could sing, rap, or anything. And then he just put on a beat, and I just started freestyling. And he was shocked. He was just like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Like, I didn't know you were into that. I'm like, yeah, but I kind of suppressed it. I was kind of shy. But then it made me feel like, why don't I tap into that? Why don't I modify it? Why don't I work on it with time? And then fast forward, when the COVID hit and everybody was in lockdown, that's when I decided, you know what, maybe I should take music seriously. Maybe I should actually become an artist and put that out there, because it's something I always find myself going back to. Like, no matter what I do, I'm always being drawn back to music.